start. So, we've all played through the story mode. I think majority of us played through the story mode. So I'm gonna do two reviews for this game. This is gonna be more of my first impressions of everything, and it's also gonna be I'm gonna do one probably in like mid of the month to see like where we're at actually with the game itself. Because as we all know, a update can seem very good on an initial day, and then like once you sit back and take a look at it, you're kind of like, oh, the update wasn't really that much. So just take this one with a grain of salt because these are first impression things. First, however, I do want to start off with the positives of this update. I can confidently say that I think this is an update where if you were a player that were kind of teetering on the edge of quitting because there was nothing to do, I mean, like, that was your sole purpose of you quitting because there was nothing to do at all for you. You already did your put your characters to 110. You're tired of the training grounds for at least going in there with 110s and getting those up. Then this is definitely a update for you in particular because now there's some things to do. Also, if you were a person that was kind of iffy about Magic and Black Widows after their nerfs or semi come out underpowered, this is something. This is an update that maybe it will keep you in a little bit longer just to see like how much that ult gauge recovery helps you out. So due to the 110, the 115 badges being that. Another thing that is good, I am a big fan of the login events. For sure, you get a custom box selector, so that's fantastic for the people that does need that. So congrats to those people that has that. You're giving away a 1-star Bear Immortal, things of those natures. So in my opinion, I don't think this is a bad update per se. I kind of think it's mid. It may be a little less average or a little bit more above average, but that's kind of where I'm at. So I would say this. I think if you're a new player and you're looking at this game from the outside, then I would say this is probably one of the best times to hop in here right now due to the regional selector and there being content that's out there for you to do. This is definitely something that you want to hop into. Now, unfortunately, that is the extent of positives that I can go. It kind of goes downhill pretty quickly. And when I say goes downhill, that doesn't mean that it's going from good to like bad. It just means that it's going from good to okay, mediocre, things of those things. What I'm saying. So let's start off with the maps themselves, right? So I think the maps are beautiful, fantastic. I'm not even gonna put that in the positives because that's what this game predicated itself on. So this should just be things that are there. So I'm not gonna give them kudos for putting in like very good looking maps. My biggest issues that I am somewhat having, the maps feels great and they look great. They look fantastic, but at the same time, I don't think these maps feel immersive. I don't know what it was. I just think because all these kind of feel a lot weaker than when Dark Domain first came out. When Dark Domain first came out, right, guys, we had the new scene of what the underworld looked like. It looked fantastic. It felt fantastic. It had its own music, and the music for Dark Domain Part 2 is fantastic. If I stop fighting here and we listen, like, let me turn this up for you guys and I will be quiet. Yeah, like, I don't it's not really hitting for me. Like, it just sounds very generic. Sometimes it's not even playing anything. Whereas, let's say I move my character over to Dark Domain Part 1, right? So let's go ahead and move that over to Dark Domain Part 1. We're just gonna go to, let's go to Twisted Borders. Let's listen to the music for that one as well. So I'm gonna turn this up and I'm gonna be quiet. Right? So it's kind of like, it feels like Dark Domain 2 had a lot less effort put into it. I feel like Dark Domain Part 1 was actually flawless. I like the difficulty of it. I like the atmosphere. I love the enemies that they have put in there. I love the music that they have with it. It felt like Dark Domain Part 2 felt like what we could expect from an update of that magnitude, right? That's just kind of how that felt. And then Part 2 kind of feels like a step back from there. I don't know if that has anything to do with our I don't know. I don't want to say we cut any assets or anything like that. Like, don't get me wrong, Dark Domain 2 has its quote unquote unique music, but it's still kind of, it just sounds as generic as like most of the other games. Where I feel like Dark Domain Part 1, like, just had its own uniqueness about it. That's kind of the gripe that I have. Another gripe I do have is I feel like Hela and Mephisto were like super weak compared to like what Dormammu was when he first came out. I couldn't tell you guys what that is. Now, you could make an argument that it makes sense that Dormammu is stronger than Mephisto and Hela, which that is the case. But to me, it kind of feels like maybe we should have had Dark Domain Part 2 first, and then we should have had Dark Domain Part 1 second. So that way Dormammu could have been the end all be all of this one, because it definitely feels like Dormammu should be the end all be all. Maybe in the Twisted Borders, that could have been this room that we're in right now. We could have went against Mephisto. And then maybe if you guys want to go ahead, change some of the little story beats around, that would have been, you can do that. And then maybe the second place could have been the Hela realm. And then, let's say we rescue we rescue Angela. Oh no, we rescue Valkyrie for Dormammu. Let's say Hela she did it for the purposes of, she wanted us to, honestly, if you ask me, I'm in the mindset of maybe we should have had Hela first, and then we could have, because another thing that I'm going to get to as well is Hela's section, it just feels like a bunch of reused assets. So maybe what we could have experienced from that was maybe make Hela the first boss. Since you guys are going to reuse assets for that one, we could have went ahead, could have saved Valkyrie, right? Hela could have gave us something to do, like, hey, there's a fight going on in the Nether Realms or the Hell, whichever they want to call it in this game. It doesn't matter to me. She could have said, I need your help fighting such and such. Okay. So now we come over to, bang, we're in Dark Domain Part 1. Now we're fighting Mephisto. So we knock out Mephisto, and then Mephisto could probably have his worries, because Mephisto's not beating Dormammu. That is what it is. So Maybe they could have had a storyline where Mephisto is battling out with Dormammu as he is now, right? But the reason that we're helping Mephisto out is because Mephisto, his realm is trying to get taken over by Dormammu, of course. But the difference between Dormammu and Mephisto is Mephisto wants to stay in his own lane. Like, he just wants to keep his hell and just keep it there. He doesn't want to bring it to Earth or world domination, nothing like that. So it would make more sense that we beat Mephisto, and then he tells us, hey, he's losing this battle against Dormammu. If Dormammu wins, he's going to take over Hell. Now he's going to have his own dimension and Hell, and he's going to try to bring that to Earth. Then we could have been like, okay, well, let's go ahead and help out Mephisto win this war, because nobody wants Dormammu to win, because if Dormammu wins, everybody loses everything. And then Dormammu could have been part 2, and I feel like that would have been a much better way to go about it, in my honest opinion. Because like I said, man, even now I still just feel like Dormammu is just a more menacing opponent, and I definitely feel like he should have been the last one. So that's my gripes about the story mode. I just feel like part 2 is more, it's much easier. The bosses fights are easier. You can one-shot them. You can even one-shot Dormammu. Not even the biggest whales would like one-shotting Dormammu in the story mode. Or at least if some of them will, because some of them were like 1.8 around that time. At least some of them took enough damage to where they could say, yeah, it's not that hard for me, but oh boy, if other people like way lower than me or even subpar lower than me, like maybe a couple 300k lower than me, then they can see why they would have an issue with the Dormammu fight. Whereas this one, you kind of play it, and even at like I'm 1.2 mil on my storm, and I'm fighting Hela and Mephisto in the story mode, and I'm kind of like, yeah, you would be alright at 900k. Whereas even in the Dormammu one, it kind of didn't even feel like he would be fine at 900k maybe. Well, I mean, at that time, it was probably like 1.2 million and all that. I guess so. That's probably what it would have been. So just equivalent to that, it was like 600k, right? 600k, 700k. Like, you can't tell somebody they was going to be okay in the Dormammu fight at 700k. So it was all relative to what the time was. So, but I guess that's good for newer players. I will say that. So, I want to go ahead and let's move on to the next thing that had people kind of in awe, that people were kind of happy about, and I was kind of letting you guys know, like, on paper these things sound good, it's just I know the way they're going to implement it, it's not going to be good, right? So in this game we have specializations. Let me go ahead and find it. That's the course. So the specializations, right? So now we have things to do with our specializations. How they work is we upgrade a material, and when we upgrade said material, it can fail when you're upgrading. So just some typical MMO stuff, right? But they ended up adding a feature in here where if you fail, you get an increased chance to it. But however, this is the biggest however. I knew this was going to happen, and I was trying to warn people not to get excited about it. If you fail one, you only get 5%. Yeah, so, I mean, people can do with that information as they will, but yeah, it's only 5% extra when you fail. And I wish I had the materials to show you guys, because I did it on stream. I wanted to capture it, but I forgot to, because I didn't think I was going to fail the ones I did. But yes, essentially, once you fail these, you only go up by 5%. So at the end of the day, my issue that I had with this system, that people were so badly trying to tell me that it's so good and it's a free-to-play friendly change, I was trying to let people know people are quitting this game, and specs does play a part of this, because of the RNG. People are going to go to these specs, because right now people are quitting because they're failing like 4 or 5 times. If I go to a spec, and then the further I go down in these specs, the lower the success rate. So if I go down all the way to 40%, right? I failed at 40%. I'm up at 45%. I failed at 45%. I go up to 50%. And we all know how these specs work. Like, you get 80% success rate, and for some reason, you still just feel like in this game you're going to fail. And it happens. It happens a lot. You're going to get to that 50% rate, and you're going to fail. Now you're at the 55% rate. So now you have more of a chance to succeed than you have fail. I'm going to tell you guys this now. People are going to get to that 55%. They are, trust me, people are going to get to that 55% and they're going to be released because they have a higher chance to succeed than they do fail. But when reality what's going to happen is this fourth time or fifth time they're going to fail, it's going to feel a lot worse than when they only had the 40% chance. Because now this time, the paper says they have a higher chance to succeed than when they did before. So they're going to press that button. And it's going to fail. And when it fails that fifth time and they're at 55%, that is probably going to be the last straw. Because now you just failed for the fifth time like you always have been doing. But this time it's more salt in the wound because the game is telling you that now on your fifth try, instead of it being, oh, you keep trying, but you're doing it at your own risk because you know that this is 40% regardless how many times you're trying. Now this game is telling you, hey, you're at 55 or you're at 60%, whichever one it is. So you're going to have a higher increased chance to pass this. And hopefully you do pass it, because now we're saying you're going to have an increased chance of doing that. But you failed. So now you're just still in the same situation, probably even feeling worse now because you feel like you just got duped in the game telling you that you have an increased chance for it to fail. I mean, to succeed, and it still fails. So that's going to feel a lot worse. That is not, like I tried to tell you guys, this change right here was not really, a lot of this was kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing. A lot of these changes weren't really even free-to-play friendly. All of this was just kind of ways for the company to put things in here and then say, like, hey, we are listening, but they're not really listening. They're just taking little tad bits of things and they're just putting it in there so the supporters... at this point, I'm just going to start calling them shields because that's just what they are. I don't know how many times they're going to keep listening to these lies, but at this point, this is willing from ignorance. So these shields are going to have the patch notes, and they're going to say they're listening. They got changes. The way these implementations are going to happen is still going to be the same issues. Nothing is really changing, and the specializations also plays into a factor of the raids, right? So we have the raids, and I already played level 4 on my storm. I haven't played level 5 yet, but the way that I see this is going, which I am going to let you guys know how this is going to play out. So level 4, it is hardly any upgrade from level 3 in my opinion. I guess now I go from like maybe a 21-second clear to in level 31 to like a 48-second clear in level freaking 4. That's pretty much just how it is, right? So, but however, for that effort, cost of rewards, you're only going up by 5, 3, and 1. So that's fine with me. Now, this is how level 5 is going to go. Level 5 has the potential. It definitely has the potential to be it's either going to satisfy some people or some people isn't going to play it. What I mean by that is, so either this raid is going to be so much easier than what people was thinking it's going to be, that's probably the high likely probability of what's going to happen. And then it's going to let people down, but at least it's just going to be something to get more materials. And then we have the second option. This one is going to be way much harder compared to level 4 and 3. But the biggest problem with that is if it's way harder and you're telling me that I'm only getting 5 more, 3, if I'm only getting 5, 3, 1 again, and you're telling me that's all I'm getting for doing a much harder boss fight, I'm gonna tell you you're kidding yourself. I'm not going to go come play level 5 and then when I can just play level 4 where the rewards match the effort. Because then in that case, if this is way too hard, then the rewards don't match the effort. Maybe this is something like the whales can dabble in, and they can be happy because it's something that's quote unquote hard, but when in reality it's just they just increase the boss's health and increase the boss attack. So I'm not really too thrilled with these right now. Like if they wanted level 5 to be worth it in terms of the difficulty, I'm hoping that it's hard, and I want it to be harder to have some fun with our characters, and we can see how many things work in longer battles and versus short battles, but not if like the rewards are that. I mean, I guess like people are gonna do it, and people are gonna ask for carries to do it, but at the same time, I can just see like level 5 being very obsolete in the long run, because at some point, well, I guess not in the long run. I guess short term right now, I can see it being obsolete because I see a lot of people kind of wondering like why would they come break their sweat and tears doing level 5 for minimum rewards. It's gonna kind of it's gonna remind me of the Thanos invasion. How people only did the Thanos invasion to get their score, and then after the final stage, I think there's like 1 million, right? That 1 million stage. People did that like one to 5 times just to get a better score. But then after that, they just went down to the 800K one, so they can go ahead and just save up all the materials that they get and just buy the final thing. Because it was much more efficient to just go ahead and auto your way through the second to last stage than to sweat and break your back to do the actual last stage. So yeah, man. That's kind of my feeling on the Blitz. Now I do want to go ahead and touch upon another thing that people were happy about. Was the enhanced potentials, because they added in another one. I'm gonna go out here and say it. I think the 5th potentials were low key flop. I am. See, because I don't want to just sit here and rag on it, but some characters, okay, not even some characters, all characters' 5th potential was very poor received. They still haven't even changed potentials of other characters that they have going on. As you guys can see, I'm playing Black Widow right now. Hers is attack, defense, and HP. No, I'm on Iron Man. His is attack, defense, and HP. It's kind of not. It's not. It's pretty ew. And then on my Storm, I think it's like defense, HP, and accuracy rate. Like the accuracy rate is cool. But like dang, defense and HP, she's like one of the squishiest people. So that wasn't needed. Another thing I don't like about this is the fact that if you guys can see, this is 30, this is 45, and this one is 60. So what is the, you guys see the pattern here, right? Increase to 15%, I mean 15, points per tier. But for some reason, they jumped it up to 90. So all this feels like to me is they just want it to be a cash grab, because they know there's not, like, you're going to get your character to 120 and you're only going to be able to put stuff into this 2 times because you only get 100 per on those. This just feels like a cash grab. It feels like it wants people to come over here and buy that pack. If you guys know what pack I am talking about, let me go ahead and pull it up. Let's see if I have it. The normal ones. Yeah, it feels like they want people to actually invest in this pack right here so they can go ahead and get it. And I would get back into it when I get around to the other issue that I have that plays a factor in this. But right now, it just feels like that's just all what they did. It feels like they did not really put effort into the tier. I think like tier 5 or tier 6, whichever it is. The next 5th row on this on that are potentials, and it's just, yeah, like what do you? I'm just not seeing it. I'm really not. I'm not seeing these free to play changes that everyone was talking about. People were just like, yeah, man, they're putting in the fifth potential now. Easier for free to play players to cap, some skills that they can't cap. And I'm kind of just looking at this as like, and you're telling me this is a free to play change? Like, dog, who has? No, free to play players aren't getting that. Like, I don't think. Yeah. So I'm gonna just move on to there. Um, Now some other things that we have a new Blitz that came in, and I will say this: I think the new Blitz is absolutely trash. I put a stamp on that. It's trash. It's super easy. It's not as choreographed as the Dormammu one. Like I said, honestly, you should probably flip these around. I think people would have been much like guys. I'm gonna be honest. If we had this Dormammu Blitz as 115 right now, I instantly think it would be much more. It would be much better received. Because right now this blitz is super super easy. It's very lazy. It's just kind of take out some ads, then just take out Mephisto. There's no choreography going on, or if there is some choreography going on, we like melt him way before he even gets to it. So that's kind of like there's no there's no beams to track. There's no I need to hurry up and knock him down before he throws this off. Like I mean, he has a skill kind of like that, but it's like it's so easy to avoid, and it doesn't really do that much damage. It just knocks you back. Whereas, like, no matter what level you are going against the Dormammu, his big fireball can easily one shot you if you're not careful. Like, if your life is low enough and you stay closer to the ball and it drops and you don't have any dodges, it's GG's for you, right? There's nothing like that with Mephisto, so that's kind of the problem I have. And another thing that goes back into this, I always said this update to me just sounded like I want more money and I want you guys to play Magic. And I think that was very, very evident when they first released it, and these badge sets had came out and said that they were Oak Gauge Recovery. Once I seen Oak Gauge Recovery, that kind of just solidified me and what I think it is, and I kind of was not deterred by that. Like I was not going away from that idea at all. So I don't know. There's not really much you can say. It is what it is, and the update is what it is. So now you guys can see what that was. There are some, however, I will say this. Let's say you just hopped in, right? There are some fantastic offers. I did buy them. There was a 99-cent offer. There was another 99-cent offer. They also do have a pop-up that comes up for $8.99. And this $8.99 offer right here is also fantastic for you if you guys care about that. Let me go over to my other account. Oh, I'm sorry. I just cracked my voice. Let me move over to my other account for you guys so I can show you guys what the offers are on here. So let me just go ahead and pop in here. Yeah. This can give you a bigger scope of like what's in the shop for you guys. You're a new player. You came in here. Or you're just coming back in a while. These are kind of the offers and things that you can expect to come in when you're coming in here. Let me get all that out the way. So let's open this. So yes, you have this 99-cent offer, which I think is fantastic. I mean, it's slight, but for 99 cents, you get 500 crystals. I think that alone is worth it, and you get like 500. Like what is that? Yeah, 600k gold as well. So that is very, very much worth it in terms of shop purchases. But those are probably the only two things that I do think you should buy is those if you can. I'm not going to tell some people that they need to buy something because that's ludicrous. I would never do that. I want to go ahead and let's talk about the new Omega cards. Of course, they want you guys to play Magic. I don't know how much evident that can be that they want you guys to play Magic. Ultimate skill level. +4, man. I like, come on now. They're pretty much throwing this in your face. They want you to play Magic, which is why you have not transmuted from Magic, because they don't want to give it to you yet. They want you guys to keep spending on Magic so they can make money off of her. And I don't know how long they're going to keep this going, but this is not looking like a good sign for newer characters to come in. But as far as the sets go, I think the sets are fine. I think honestly, this is probably like the best set I can think of for at least people like Black Widow and Magic. I think at one point in time, this definitely would have been good for Captain Marvel as well before they nuked her. It's a pretty good set. It has range damage decrease and it has melee damage decrease, and it also comes with, if I'm not mistaken, I think that set comes with critical rating and critical damage cards as well. I could be wrong, so let me go check. Where are you at, Magic? Oh, here you guys go. Yeah, I think this is the card. So yeah, you get 2 attacks, and then you get a crit rate and a crit damage card. So, like I said, man, I don't know how many times they gotta knock you upside the head, but clearly they want you guys to play Magic. So, if you're a Magic player, man, you're having the time of your life right now with this update, which is good for you, man. She deserves it because she's not that good anyways. Let's go down. Let's talk about the new companions. So, on my main account, I do have Baramordo, and I would say this. Baramordo is absolutely garbage, unless, there's a caveat, unless you play Doctor Strange and Magic. I've heard things from players. Don't worry, guys. I am going to be getting some gameplay on this to show you guys later when I come deeper into the videos of the updates. This Baramordo, I hear that he really gives them a bump in PvE, at least for Doctor Strange. I heard that Mordo is very good for Magic and PvP and PvE, honestly. So if you're a Magic main and you love PvP, particular dimensional duels, so I hear Baramordo is definitely the guy for you. He helps you out a lot. And Doctor Strange players, I heard the cooldown that he gives you guys and the attack boost is phenomenal as well. So, hey, that's one good thing. Ghost Rider, I heard that Ghost Rider Burn, it's not good for your Star-Lord or anything like that. I feel like it's an overall good character. He's kind of versatile. He's definitely going to help you burst out more damage, especially if you're like Storm, because then you can just mix your shock damage with his fire damage, and that's kind of stacking on elemental damage. So that's fantastic for you. PvP, I heard he works phenomenal. I actually heard he stuns people without guard breaking. I heard an Iron Man tested it. He hit somebody with his napalms. They caught fire. He dropped Ghost Rider, and the character was stunned without guard breaking. So take that with a grain of salt. I haven't seen the video. He's going in that video for me now to replicate it. So hopefully we are able to get that information from him. And yeah, okay. So this is kind of the final point that I want to hit on. Let me go ahead and switch over to this character. Let's go ahead. Yes. The final point I want to hit on is this is something that people love to rave about. It is the training grounds. So the biggest issue I have with training grounds at this moment, because I originally said this because it didn't matter at the time. So training grounds, the way it works is you go in there on training grounds, you knock around a couple baddies, right? However, you're supposed to get potential, which you get potential, but the caveat is it's random. So now everybody needs, their level 5s enhancements, or probably not, because your enhancement is probably absolutely garbage. So, but for me, my level 5 enhancement is accuracy rate. Who would not want accuracy rate on Storm from the enhanced potential? Well, unfortunately, other than getting your character to 120 and maybe like coughing up some money, drops like some crystals, you're not going to get that enhancement. So you have to go to the training ground. But you can't target it, so because it's random. It's random. Like you can't. It's very 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 random. I don't know what comes with this game and this company and these randoms, but oh man, they need to stop the RNG. It's like not. It's not. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. The offers are like trash still. Like oh my god, yeah, they have a lot of work to go. And then I guess if you guys care about these, it's freaking all preset. I guess something that would have been good to see a while ago if you cared. I don't know if you care or not now, but here you go. If you need it, it's here. It's a feature. Set up your own thing. Go into it. Do what you gotta do. This is something that only like small majority of the game even cares about, because you can't even build a character for both anyway. So it doesn't matter, man. It's not gonna do much. You're fine. It's not gonna do much. So what I finally want to say is, what do I give this update? I give this update a. If you look at this update on paper, you can look at it and say it was a solid 7. But since I knew how this was going to be implemented and I knew how things were going to play out, I knew that it was ultimately going to be 5 out of 10. Like it was going to be in the middle. It was going to be okay. Like it wasn't going to be like good, almighty savior. So, and then I knew it wasn't going to be bad, terrible, like, oh, I'll just quit this game, dead game. Like, I knew it wasn't going to be nothing like that. I seen this update, and I read the notes, and I kind of seen the terminologies and how everything was going. And like I said, man, the way that this update it just looked like it gave me more money, because there was no reason to put a level 120 cap other than just get people to spend more on training ground tickets. And then it just felt like, oh, you don't play Magic? Maybe you want to play Magic now. You know, with her cards, and cards says geared towards her, and you got the badges that's geared towards her. You can just see so much of it just trying to force you to play Magic. I don't know if it's because they haven't made that much money off of her, which maybe they would have if transmutation was a thing and if it was a popular character. People are speculating Deadpool is next, so the world may never know, man. But yeah, if you are a person that was on the verge of quitting, first impressions I'm gonna say is this gives you something to stay around a bit to do, so you don't quit, which is a good thing for those people. If you are a player on the outside looking in, this is probably one of the better times to come in there and try this game mode out. I say that because of the login rewards, not necessarily the game itself. I think the game itself still has a long way to go before I actually recommend this game for newer players to come in here and main the game. So that's kind of where I'm at. However, this is right here is going to be for a majority of the people I'm guessing really cares about these reviews. If you were someone that quit the game and you were waiting for changes, some big changes to bring you back, this update was by far not it. I use this analogy on my on my stream. The problem was right. Let's say we have 2 houses. One house has a burglar that's trying to kill people, right? And the other house is having structural issues, right? Let's just say that there's a crack, there's a crack or something in the roof. Okay, so clearly both of these things need some attention, right? However, you would think the house that has the burglar trying to kill someone needs more attention than a house that just needs a crack in it. Someone gets caught out there. This person can handle a burglar, and this person can also handle the crack in the roof. This person pulls up, and what does he do? He goes and fixes the crack in the roof first before he even acknowledges or even says anything about the burglar that's in the other house. And you're kind of like you're looking at this and you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I mean, like, you came and you did it. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, the crack needed to be fixed. Like, a crack can cause structural issues to your house falling down. So yes, that did need to be fixed. But don't you think that person over there that's almost getting killed by a burglar needs more attention first before you go messing with that crack? And then you would have that person's supporters would come up out of nowhere and they would be like, "Oh my God, look at him! He did such a fantastic job. Look at him! He fixed that crack. He's so nice to the community. He fixed the crack so the house doesn't fall down." And then like the people on the other side of that, like, they kind of support him a little bit, but they kind of like skeptical of it instead of looking at it and it's like, yeah, you fixed that crack, but what about the person that's dying over there? Like, are you going to go say or do anything about that? And then everyone that is just the flat out supporters, they're kind of just like, "Oh, you're a hater," and it's kind of like, well, you know what I mean? No, man, they still haven't fixed nothing base issues with this. Like, everything that they quote unquote fixed, bro, was not it wasn't make or break, honestly, not even a little bit. It's kind of it was really moot, man. It was moot points, and then the stuff that they did fix wasn't even like a 100% fix. It was kind of like a halfway middle ground fix. So I don't know. All I can say is, as long as one good thing I'll say is they didn't take anything away with this. Usually they have a fanatic with giving us things and then taking away something else in order to give us that. I can definitely say they have not done that. They just kind of like half-assed everything, in my opinion. So I don't know, man. You guys let me know how you feel about it, man. That's kind of just where I'm in when I think about this update. So new players, hop in if you want to. Stay if you want to. If you already going to quit, it's something nice for you. If you already quit the game, there's no reason to come back. You're much better off. You want to go play other games until this game gets better. Be on the lookout. I'm going to go ahead and go in depth with my other systems. Definitely going to bring back the keeping it real, because that definitely needs to be, it needs to be said on these systems each. Like, I think each of these systems can have their own videos. So until then, godly, I'm going over 40 minutes. Until then, guys, peace out. I am going to go ahead and go edit this video now. Bye.